We are now in a situation of crisis. Mills and factories are closing down the shutters. Population is growing very fast. There is lack of security for the people. These are not very good signs at all. What, Thakur, is the remedy?
In the present serious circumstances in our country, the best course for restoring peace and progress lies in the reconstruction of the society on the socialistic model which prevailed in India from ancient times. Our scriptures, the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, bear testimony to it. Even today, the same mission for the spread of socialism among the people is observed in our religious practice and rituals, in the forms and figures of the deities whom we worship, invoking benevolence. The principles of socialism advocated by the Vedas have been derogated. The great vessel has lost motion, all due to rivalry among self-interested groups. Vedic socialism always advised unity, comradeship, to move in a body, to speak in a voice. All those high principles stood upon materialistic and utilitarian perceptions. The message of the Vedas is clear about the interrelation between materialism and spiritualism. We have to go deep into the intrinsic composition of matter, decipher the strength and functional nature of the nuclear atoms and their impact on the physical system of living beings. We have to find out the truth behind the mutual relation between matter and energy with the help of real knowledge acquired by rigorous effort. The universe is made up of atoms only, which we must admit and solve the mystery of the materialistic existence and functioning of the elements. As you go ahead, all other issues of spiritual query will be resolved automatically. You proceed with the vow to realize the intrinsic relation of material objects with spiritualism. Such devoted work and dedication yield up with sadhana, which means concentrated research. Sadhana has nothing to do with formal and demonstrative rituals. You have to go deep into any matter or theme with full concentration of your mental faculty. Such sadhana has been advocated by the Vedas. It is regrettable that religion as such, or spiritualism, has now come down to something to be afraid of or appear something imaginary. Both the aspects are to be treated as disease. In fact, our society today is a diseased body. The exploiter class is to blame for this situation. They are engaged in alluring people by the false charm of names and titles, mainly with the motive to add to their riches. In this way, they have denigrated the Vedas also. That such scope existed in the society to take advantage of the simplicity of the common folk and their culpability to misleading calls in the name of religion was not known widely. Such apprehension arose in the mind of benevolent thinkers and saints and seers of the ancient times. So we find words of warning in the Vedas, also of such eventualities. The message of the Vedas have been misinterpreted for ages, and now those are mostly misleading. Even then, from the shape of things that emerged in the course of time, we can observe that all religious rituals, deities, worship systems, sacrificial rites were planned and carried out on the model of Vedic socialistic system for the people. All the elements required for the composition of an ideal society are indeed available in those classics. Only we have to search these out and make proper use thereof like skilled artisans. All our problems can be solved if we earnestly apply those lessons in our life. Thousands and thousands of years back, the large vessel of India floated upon the ocean of socialism. That current, however, might have flown astray and rebounded from some far-off shore. The oceanic flow appears unfamiliar to many of us, although it is truly indigenous. This is now being credited to Russia or China, or any such other country, as the core brand of socialism. But in fact, it is all Indian. It has come to us in a new form after temporary misdirection. I am convinced that this Indian socialism will develop into a centrifugal force, and people from all directions will come forward and join this mainstream. Of course, we shall have to take proper care of different cross-currents of ideas and perceptions that exist as a natural course and proceed harmoniously. Then there will be no problem to achieve the coveted goal within a reasonable time. Hazrat Muhammad was fully conscious about the need to establish a socialistic form of society with a view to building up a strong nation. Socialism never comes by shouting slogans. It has to be based upon religion and faith. He propagated his mission through the Holy Quran, and we find socialism has gained a very strong foundation among the entire Muslim community. They assembled together with the Quran in hand, irrespective of rich and poor. I can trace the Vedic principles ringing in the Islamic religion. The significance of the Islamic call, Allah is great, can also be found in the Vedic hymns, wherein we are called upon to propitiate the sun god. That means we adore holy light. Essentially, it is energy, or say power, in the upholder and conductor of the universe, and so that's supreme. That is what is meant by Allahu Akbar. Can't we presume also that the terms Akbar and Allah are derivatives of Akrabar, meaning the sun, and Alo, meaning light? It seems many such similar words, origin being the same, had undergone vocal change through usage and utterance by distinct and dissimilar groups. Now see, we don't admit or acknowledge the basic unity, for habits die hard. If we can accept sincerely and present the same to others, then perhaps people will not disagree.
Can we take it that socialism, enunciated by the Vedas, formed the fourth dimension of the science?
It is wrong to suggest Vedas to be any branch or side dimension. Rather, the Vedas form the ancient and original mainstream, and all others are branches. Great seers of the past, like Shankara, Buddha, Krishna, Rama, and the like, had to pass those streams. Karl Marx came much later. The guardians of communism, be it Marxism, Leninism, or Maoism, will find support of their own line of thoughts and ideas in the Vedas, so there won't be any problem for them to accept the Vedas at the center. I will try my best to preach our Veda-oriented socialism, not only in Bengal or India. I will take it to people all over the world. Then it will be regarded and appreciated by all for its vastness and uniqueness of being so materialistic. The essential concept of socialism is not reflected in the divergent lines of thought process and policy frames as advocated today. And that's why people in India are not prepared to accept those heterogeneous lines of politics. India is basically religious-minded. Spiritualism is at the core of her existence. So if any line of approach discards religion, it will never appeal to the Indian mind. The Vedas teach us religion is the upholder and sustainer of all other elements. Religion should also be based on true knowledge and proper action. Knowledge enlightens truth, gives intellect, gives judiciousness, and gives liberation. The Vedic concept of religion is based on all these factors. Social life in those days was clean and rational. Problems could be solved easily. Work ethics and devotion to duty among the people were beyond reproach. Worldly wanton demands were within their reach. The mystery of creation and existence, working life and the values of life, all these are explicit in the Vedas. If we can spread the message among the people, then it will be clear to them that if these were common or even at variance with Marxism, this will help widening the horizon of perception. People will be free from orthodoxy. In the changed situation, there will be no hesitation for India to accept communism, and in reflex, socialism of Vedic origin will also be accepted all over the world. My effort is to bring about that synthesis.
To what extent can the spiritually advanced persons render any service to the political trends and general situation prevailing today?
I think this is the common mistake done by all to consider as a separate brand all those who may be adhering to religious or spiritual line of activity. Spiritualism, arising from human physical elements like flesh and blood and bone, as such, these are interrelated. Natural and supernatural elements ultimately converge on the same. The function of the spiritualist is to decipher all the fine species in matter or those in super stages. If we agree that all action and reaction are related to the material existence, then we have to admit its converse side also, that all efforts and endeavors are linked to spiritualism. So, spiritually advanced people have to fulfill the task of lending their helping hands to remove the obstacles and misunderstanding blocking divergent flows to the mainstream.
Thakur, how to identify genuine politics?
Politics is the best of all servicing functions. Unfortunately, politics today is identified by display and show. Uniform of different shades are put on by different groups. But why that should be so relevant? It is redundant whether you are labeled as a political personnel. Genuine political service is not restricted to particular space or theme or style. Rather, its domain covers a much wider area. People are participants in different capacities, either at the front or in the middle or at the tail end. In a way, they're all partners in politics. Development work in different areas like social welfare, education, art and culture, all are but different aspects of one uniform whole. No particular line of service can be treated in isolation as if in an airtight compartment. These are intrinsically related to each other. All are contributing in their own way to the political force, either directly or indirectly. Call it political work or family work. These are virtually the same. the first one being an enlarged edition of the latter form. As in family affairs, so also in the larger political edition, members have to mix with each other and maintain certain norms of behavior. This we learn from the Vedas. I am certain about that. But in today's politics, we are witness to intra-fraternal disputes, rivalries, violence, and bloodshed. How tragic! Political parties of all shades deliver high-sounding assurances of welfare service, mainly to allure people to their own camp, but fail to keep word when the need arises, and even if something is done at all as public work, on proper inquiry, you will find it was for a few pets only. How much real service people are getting from the parties, and to what benefit? I think instead of keeping oneself in the rigid confinement of the party line of approach, it will be better and a higher grade of political conduct if one can think and work for the benefit of the people and the society, free from bonds and fetters. Nowadays, no such instance of dedicated service comes to our notice. There is a sign of conflagration on all sides. Parties are merely solacing peace, but avoid the trouble of water spray for firefighting. Dry sermons of peace is only adding fuel to the fire. People are so obsessed that they don't even care for their cursed dwelling hutments crumbling down. The objective of genuine politics should be peace for the land and peace for the common people. Diverse lines of thoughts and party forms may coexist, but the end objective must be the same or similar. If that is admitted, then why there should be such differences of views and disputes? The reason can be traced to the partisan spirit and service for the benefit of only those loyals who flock together, but never for all. You find only a few handful team leaders are lording it over all else, often thumbing down those who don't fall in line. What politics is this? If you really want to do political work, then first of all, widen your spectrum, be equal to all others, and be friendly to all and sundry. Develop broad worldview and wide perceptions. Till such time, none will have license for political work. Only a few such heads can be found here and there in diverse types of parties. In reality, ideals and pious wishes may be there, but actual worthwhile service is rarely to be found in today's world. Another wall is that political parties in most cases have to make adjustment with the exploiters and the capitalist class. This, however, is not all their fault. These undesirable classes have grown and spread far and wide to such an extent that it is a formidable task to stay out and keep free from their grip. But there are exceptions. Those who have succeeded in maintaining blameless stature and independence of purposeful service are declared fit for political work.